Morning again. Johnny Walker here. Kind of a cool day. It's Tuesday. Doing my morning work. And noticed something last night. That I hit 3,000 subscribers. Thanks very much, everyone. It's just awesome. One day maybe I'll be up there like my friend Tin Man and Buck and Billy Ray. They've kind of inspired me to do this stuff and keep me on the right track. Yeah, awesome. And you know what? This weekend, finally, we're going to go run some racing saws. Me and my dad were talking last night. He's got a couple old McCullochs and a Husqvarna. We're going to go out there and run at our campsite. Yeah, and I helped my dad had this old hot tub, and instead of taking it and recycling and get rid of it, which I'm doing now, but he wanted a more reciprocating saw to cut it up. So it's just get it in the truck easier and take it to the recycling area for garbage. But my mom puts a Facebook picture on yesterday, and there he is with his Husqvarna 372 with a 32-inch bar, and he's cutting it up. He cut it all up into these small pieces with his chainsaw. It's too funny. Years ago, my dad used to do renovations in the house here. My mom was telling me, remember we made a door from their bedroom into this little room where this radio room was. My dad's always been into ham radios and VHF, stuff like that. He still is. He tinkers and that stuff. We actually used to be in the CB club where we go camping with folks with CBs and talk all over the world. So that's kind of funny. That's in the back of my truck. This morning I had to go drop it off at the recycling place. Just finishing 390 for my friend Shane Churchill. Churchy! This one's for you, buddy. Get you a new screamer. Yesterday he brought a saw in. No power, Donnie. No power. It's 398. It's not that old. It's probably a year old. Well, Jesus, I took pictures of it. It was just all around the carburetor. It was just plugged so much as sawdust. And then the metering side of the carburetor, when you get these saws with a lot of sawdust buildup and stuff, your metering side, you have a hole in the metering cover. This one's got a hose that would go to a little filter or something, but that hole gets plugged up. The thing runs rich and you won't have any power. That was part of his problem, but his other part of his problem was his throttle cable was so wore out and it actually ripped. The throttle was only coming halfway. Well, so wonder you didn't have any power there, Churchy. So fix that up for him, all good. He's off using it today, cutting down some nice wood. Market up here right now is incredible. Wood prices are at the highest ever, I think ever. So everyone's making lots of money. As you see, 2x4s and pieces of plywood are outrageous price right now. Seeing a guy joking on Facebook the other day, geez, I should dismount to my house and sell all my 2x4s and plywood, be able to buy myself another house. But you still gotta buy high, right? Another fellow was asking me, why I wear this mask. It's not just, it's for the aluminum filings for sure, and the chromium that I take off. Also for the strip paper I use when you're using that aluminum oxide paper here. This stuff on the roll. It's a lot of dust and this stuff comes off it, right? So you see a lot of, when I'm polishing, you'll see all that stuff flying around in here, and it can't be good for you. My dad used to use it do all this stuff, use nothing, but I got it, man. I, run enough saws through my life and stuff in a little test room with a lot of smoke that I know my lungs aren't that great because of it. It doesn't help. I punctured a lung once in a car accident, so that didn't help my lung capacity either. Plus, I'm out of shape. Gotta admit that one. So yeah, and I had a buddy, Brian of mine, test my 462, my demo. I let him take it to camp. He runs 460s and 046s and 461. So he liked the saw for the smoothness and the it ran really nice for him, but he found it didn't have a lot of torque, and then, you know, but it has, like I told him, keep the rakers up a bit and just use the speed of it. But he's, you know, gets into big wood, he's used to the torque of his modified 461s and 460s. You know, but I told him, you know, like the 462 is only 72 cc's versus his 461 and whatnot, which is 77 cc's, right? That's right, 77, I believe. You know, so that's a big difference. And you know, the old school motors, there's nothing wrong with them. You know, but then I said to him, you know, once I get my 500i demo back, which is, I told you before, working good, and everyone's buying a lot of them. Can't keep enough of them in. You know, they're 79.2 cc's, which is, you know, obviously bigger and better for the bigger wood. But it's light too. You know, that 462 is only 13 pounds. The 500 is 13.9, so it's 0.9 of a pound heavier the 500i, but you know, it's got to be, you know, got to have some weight to it. You don't want to thin them up too much, especially the crankcases and stuff, so they stand in the long bars we run here. But you know, then the 661, it's, you know, 91.1 cc's to replace the 066 one. Not the guys for the big wood of the 36s, it's working good for them. But I gotta admit, they've been a terrible saw here. Unfortunately, so many of them have blown up. Pistons breaking, bearings going on them. Just been terrible. It just seems like once your warranty's up, they're done. You know, we're old 66s and stuff. Guys had them for years. Never had any problems like this. I really think they have to go back to an adjustable carburetor on that one. I see guys changing them over, swapping like an 066 carb on there or whatever, and messing around with them, but they'll get them figured out. Like, it takes a while, right? But it's discouraging for people. And I believe with our emission laws in Canada here and some states in the US, if you're a dealer and you do change that stuff over, you can lose your dealership. We're supposed to be selling and complying with the federal laws of emissions and forest safety and whatnot, which we have always tried to make sure everything kind of stands up that way. Screens and the mufflers and stuff like that. And nothing stupid hanging out the fronts, you know, with mufflers, you know, they're gonna burn the tree or, you know, what I mean there. So yeah, you know, then Husky, you know, with their 572, you know, it's only 70 cc, so you know the 462 is, you know, 2 more cc's in it, which helps too, right? So very similar motor though, like the port timing is very, very similar. The 572 having the full circle stuffer crank though, I believe that's where they've gained some power. Well, I know they have to kind of gee up in that class. So ideally really the 572, you know, and it's heavier than the 462, but it's so smooth. That's what the guys love about it. Been a few little hiccups with the auto tune, but that's getting better too, and they're all gonna perfect it. I'm just waiting for the bigger Huskies to come now, and I'm hoping soon. They've been really hush about it, and we were supposed to get demos, but haven't seen yet. So yeah, I just want to say thanks to everyone. I'm gonna, you know, show you some stuff on the weekend, like you said, with the racing saws, and oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Pistons, you know, when I take some of them, I don't like to take too much material out of the cylinder, so you know, I take some of the skirt off on models, right, on the intake side, and chamfer it good. Years ago in kart racing, especially with Yamaha kart engines, I used to be the tech director for like BC here in Western Canada. And after races, we would check people's motors for legality. You weren't allowed to port them. You're allowed to clean up the aluminum part of the ports, but not the cast iron liner. You're not allowed to change the height heights or widen them. So we had tools, and we at the end of the races I would pick the top 3 and I would check their engines. A degree wheel or a dial indicator I used in those days for checking the intake duration and exhaust duration. Then the cc's of the head, and the cc's of the head is when you have the piston at top dead center, and we'd use what you call Marvel mystery oil, and you'd fill up the combustion chamber to the top thread of the spark plug hole, and you weren't allowed any less than 11 cc's of volume. So that way guys weren't cutting their heads down so much and whatnot. A lot of guys cheated and got their way around it. They'd drill little holes in the side of the spark plug threads. I don't know how they did that, but somehow they would do that. So when the spark plug was in, it was fine, but then they would put the liquid in, and it would seep through the little holes, and they'd be able to cheat a little bit. I'd catch them on it a lot of times. You know, I built a lot of engines for the racers, and some people would question sometimes, well, hey, you won the race, man. Who's going to tech yours? I said, you are. You come over and you're going to look at the numbers, and you'll see exactly that I'm not cheating. And I never did. So then, like I was saying with the piston, though, we also had a rule on the chamfer. The chamfer on the piston is your on your skirt here. You weren't allowed any more than 30 thousandths of chamfer. Because you think about it, you put more of a chamfer on that, you're opening the port quicker. Okay? It's like going a couple more degrees. So people tried that too. They would make a big chamfer and think I wouldn't notice it. But I would sometimes, if I look in the intake while I'm checking the timing of the intake, I can look in there and I can see, oh yeah, that's chamfered quite a bit. And I'd pull the cylinder right off. And then I'd measure it with my calipers, you know, set it at 30, make sure it's any more than that. Guys, I cut a couple guys on that too. And you give their motor back to them all apart, and they gotta put it back together. They don't know how they have to bring it back to me anyways. Kind of funny. Yeah, we used to, you know, that's one thing about go-karting, and that's where I learned a lot about the porting too, and with rotary valves, timing, reed engines, and the piston port ones. They've always had good set of rules for people to not to cheat and everyone be on a level playing field, sort of like NASCAR, IndyCar. But yeah, anyways, it's not chainsaw related, but I just thought I'd let you in on that. You can do a little bit of port timing by just doing that. Yeah. So yeah. Again, thanks everyone for watching. Have a great day. Keep your saw on the wood. It's getting windy and rainy out. We might have some thunderstorms. Apparently tonight, they just said on the news a minute ago when I had my radio on, but I turned it off because I'm not supposed to have it on when you're doing a video. Anyways, I hope not, because I want to go get a load of firewood tonight after work. I got a pile I found up in a logging area. It's been logged quite a while ago. Just small little round fir, just perfect. You don't have to split it or nothing. I'm gonna go up there with a little 550 Mark II 18-inch bar, and I'll have a friggin' load in no time. Probably half an hour. I got no one to come with me, so I'm gonna just go by myself. Probably not the best thing to be doing, cutting by yourself, but I'll have my safety pants on and my helmet, muffs, safety glasses, my steel toes. Yeah, so have a great day. See ya. Thanks again. Love y'all. Bye.